Well, in 2003, April 25th at 12:50 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, I saw a light blue oval of light, stunningly bright, come down from the sky, nearly vertical, at thousands of miles per hour, and it struck the other side of a mountain and lit the night sky in multiple flashes of blue and orange in 2003. And so in 2009, I think it was, I went there via satellite imagery and saw that crash impact zone on the side of a mountain up there in Idaho near Malad City. The crash impact zone there is about 1,200 feet in diameter with a landslide of about 2,500 feet, striking the side of that mountain. So I'm one of the rare people who actually saw a UFO crash back then in 2003 at 12:50 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And so when I saw that via satellite imagery, I took a Camtasia, I think it was Camtasia screen capture of that crash impact zone. It's about 15 minutes long. But anyhow, many of the people in this arena already know about that crash impact zone, but it certainly is not publicly known. So anyhow, some of my inventions since then have been gravitational magnetic force energy, the vortex, the flying disc, things like that, and highly complex, integral, interdimensional, non-human and extraterrestrial, since I witnessed that night, the night I saw the light on that mountain. So it's a sad song for me, but here I am.
Wow, Jeffrey, that's incredible. So are you saying that you're currently building this technology? Is that did I catch that correctly?
Well, I've made contact with people known as the non-human gray, and when it comes to technology, as in a gravitational magnetic force energy, we're talking about gravity versus magnetic in compilation, yet in unison, yet in opposition. Non-human gray have made contact with me and showed me that technology, and I comprehend the vortex. Comprehend the flying disc. I comprehend gravitational magnetic force energy. It's a lot of stuff for me, but I do comprehend that, and I certainly did make contact with non-human gray. They have 3 fingers and an opposing thumb, and the thumb is right close to the index finger on the non-human gray, and then we have the middle finger, and then we have that other finger, but they do not have a pinky. So they have 3 fingers and a thumb and a palm, and I've seen them there. I've been one with them. And it's a long story, but when it comes to interdimensional, when it comes to gravitational, when it comes to non-human, when it comes to extraterrestrial inventions, ETC, Tesla, IEC. I understand and comprehend all of that, but it's a really big load for me. One night, I was in my bedroom and I said, I think this was 2011. I said, I understand that you control the weather. I comprehend that you can control tornado, earthquake, hurricane, rain, drought. I comprehend that. So why don't you just appear before me, before my bedroom door? I want you to stand there. I understand I now know what you are. So non-human gray, why don't you stand there at my bedroom door? And so I asked them to stand there and they did not. And I thought they did not because they knew it would be too much for me. So I said, okay, how about a ball of light above my bed? I'll see you glowing there above my bed. And I comprehended that would be too much for me. So I then went into speak to me telepathically, and understood that no, that would be too much to me, an overload for me, craziness. And so the next night, about 24 hours later, upon my calling upon them, which they called upon me, the next night in Salt Lake City, Salt Lake City, at a Saturn dealership that next night, I walked behind a building at night in November of, I think it was 2011, and I looked upon a steel plate which was covered in frost. In the frost on that plate was a non-human gray handprint. My eyes looked right down upon that print. And so I saw that print, their print, and like I said, it was 3 fingers, opposing thumb. And so I placed my hand down there. It was their left hand on that frost, on that plate of steel. I placed my left hand there upon their right hand, And I wrote peace, I wrote love, and I drew a heart with an arrow and the peace symbol. So it was peace, love, me, you. And so anyhow, I walked inside the building, which I had the key to, and I again stared upon that frost plate where my handprint was there and their handprint was there. And it said, I want to see you because clearly you are here. And so I looked in the darkness right there. It was a dark area. And what I saw was a non-human gray standing there looking at me. But at that time, I was a religious person, and I didn't care to enter that realm because I was concerned I was opening the doors to something evil. I was very religious at that time. And so I looked at the non-human gray standing there, and then I looked again at my handprint and the non-human gray handprint in a steel plate on the frost. And then suddenly I realized, look to the sky in Salt Lake City at the Saturn dealership there. And I looked to the sky and I saw two clouds in the sky at about an altitude of maybe 300 to 500 feet. I would say about probably 400 feet. And in the sky, there were two clouds, only two clouds there, drifting by. And I saw them there, drifting over me, directly above me. And I looked up at them, and I thought to myself, that is my future looking down upon me at this moment, back in 2011. And those two clouds drifted directly above me, no other clouds in the sky. They drifted directly above me. And little by little, they began to dissipate. And I said, okay, I'm good, we're good. We made contact as you wanted 24 hours ago when I prayed about it. And so we made contact and they drifted away. My future, I sensed it was my future, me and my companion, looking down upon me at that moment. And so anyhow, when you talk about gravitational magnetic force energy, when we talk about flying disk, when we talk about vortex, etc., all of it's very simple to me. But anyhow, so that's my story and I'm sticking to it. It's a real love, a love of me. What happened there was they basically told me this is first contact. Do not discuss it with anyone. So about 1,500 miles away here in Door County at Christmas time, I discussed it with my family. Probably they did not believe it. It really doesn't matter to me.